This story contains graphic and disturbing content. Viewer discretion is advised. The smell hit first. Officers pushing open the battered door of room 22, almost gagged. The air felt alive. A heavy, choking blend of bleach, rotting blood, and that sour stench of fear soaked into the walls. It was the kind of smell that crawled up your nose and refused to let go, no matter how hard you tried to forget it. Inside, under the harsh flicker of a dying ceiling bulb, lay Sam Nordquist, a 30-year-old transgender man from Alabama, who believed he'd finally found someone who would accept him, someone he thought was a lover. But instead of love, room 22 became his personal hell. Sam wasn't tied down. He didn't need to be. Prosecutors say his body was so broken, he simply couldn't move. Belt lashings crisscrossed his skin, like grotesque road maps, each mark telling a different horror story. His lips were torn and blistered, burned by bleach and urine. Every breath turned into a chemical scream.
He was sexually assaulted. He was prevented from using his phone. He was denied proper nutrition and hydration. He was fed feces. He was forced to drink urine and chew spit. They physically restrained him. They forced him to obey their commands, treating him like a dog. They covered his face with towels and shirts and fabric. They used duct tape, and they poured bleach on him.
His fingers were raw and claw-marked, as if he tried to tunnel into the floor to escape, knowing there was no way out. But here's the thing. Sam didn't arrive in New York in chains. He got on that bus by choice. He packed a small bag, stepped onto that Greyhound bus, maybe even smiling to himself, thinking he was finally going somewhere he could just be. After years of rejection, he believed this online group, and the one he called a lover, would welcome him. Maybe for the first time, he thought he'd finally be safe. It's that small, painful detail that twists the knife even deeper. According to court documents, Sam was lured to room 22 with promises of warmth, friendship, and romance. He believed he'd spend cold winter nights, wrapped in warmth and laughter. Instead, the room transformed into a torture chamber. Every corner of that damp space carried evidence of his screams, broken tiles, blood spatter. Ropes coiled like snakes waiting for the next strike. Neighbors and motel staff called the police at least 8 times. They reported muffled screams, strange thuds, and that foul smell creeping into the hallway. But each time, officers left, calling it just a disturbance or noise complaints. No one insisted. No one forced that door open. Sam must have felt the betrayal like a physical blow. Each day realizing no one was coming. No one outside cared enough to burst in and shout, "Stop!" His hope rotted alongside his flesh, minute by minute. Think about that for a second. Imagine believing you're heading toward love, stepping into arms that you think will finally understand you, only to find those arms were the ones tightening the noose. That's the chilling opening to Sam Nordquist's story. And it only gets darker from here. Sam's story doesn't end at the threshold of room 22. In fact, that's where the real nightmare begins to unfold, piece by chilling piece. When he first arrived in New York, Sam probably felt that nervous excitement we all feel when meeting someone special in real life. He might have rehearsed what he'd say, checked his reflection in the bus window, maybe even dreamed of a new start. But once he stepped off that bus, everything shifted. According to prosecutors, the group he trusted didn't bring him home. They took him straight to that motel room. From that moment on, every locked door, every ignored scream was another nail in his coffin. Inside room 22, Sam was forced to endure daily beatings with metal rods and belts. Each new mark a twisted trophy for his captors. They didn't just want to hurt him. They wanted to erase him, piece by piece. Forced chemical burns on his lips, meant to silence him forever. Every gasp turned into punishment. 2 children, ages 7 and 12, were forced to watch, sometimes forced to participate. Imagine that. Imagine tiny hands, learning cruelty as if it were a bedtime story. Those children will carry scars deeper than any blade. Throughout those days, Sam's mind must have hovered between hope and total collapse. Did he still believe in that online promise? Did he whisper to the lover he thought was real? Did he beg them to stop? Outside, life continued. Guests checked in, staff refilled ice machines. Someone probably argued over TV channels. Neighbors heard unnatural thuds, muffled cries, 8 separate calls to police. 8. Each time officers arrived and left, without forcing that door open. Think about that. Sam was so close to rescue. One more push, one more suspicious glance, and maybe he would have survived. But no one came, and inside, the torture continued. The group allegedly filmed parts of the torture, as if to savor or share it later. Sam was forced to ingest bleach and urine, starved until his body began devouring itself. The floor was marked with claw trails, evidence that even when he could no longer stand, he tried to crawl. In those final moments, did he still think someone might crash through that door? Or did he realize, far too late, that the people he trusted had already sealed his fate? Room 22 became a silent witness, its walls soaked with secrets and screams. Guests outside ordered pizza, argued, scrolled through social media, unaware that a life was ending feet away. This isn't the part of the story you look away from. This is the part you need to see, to feel, to remember. By the time police finally forced open the door to room 22, on February 13th, 2025, it was already too late. Sam's body was there on the mattress, eyes still open, staring at that door as if waiting, hoping that someone would finally come. But no one came in time. 7 people were arrested, charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and unlawful imprisonment. Among them, 26-year-old Joe Vaughn and 32-year-old Luna Martinez, alleged leaders of the group. 2 minors were taken into protective custody. Their future stories are chapters we may never fully understand. Every suspect pleaded not guilty. As of mid-2025, they await trial. Prosecutors plan to use footage from phones and evidence from room 22. Images no one should ever have to see. Penn Yan, a small town known for quiet streets and lake views, was forced into a national nightmare. Residents keep asking, how could this happen? Right next door. How could 8 police calls end with no rescue? No one breaking down that door. Some blame broken systems. Others whisper about how society fails trans people. Again and again. The final betrayal wasn't just inside room 22. It was outside too, in all the ignored calls and closed doors. Sam's story is a mirror, forcing us to look at ourselves and ask why we look away from the quiet cries for help. He packed a bag, rehearsed jokes, maybe imagined a first dinner together. All that hope turned into horror. His eyes were open when they found him. Maybe it was his last plea. Maybe one final question. Why didn't anyone come sooner? The case isn't over. The legal fight continues. Sam's family waits, hoping justice can fill the silence he left behind. Room 22 stands empty now, but its walls still echo with secrets and the final breath of a man who only wanted to be loved. Sam Nordquist's story isn't just a headline, it's a scream, a warning, a call to never ignore a knock or a cry again. And that is the final haunting truth about Room 22.